why do we need a Namibian sound?
Distinction, bro. Like how it's when you listen to Nigerian music. How do you know it's Nigerian music?
You can just hear it.
Even when a Ghanaian dude tries to copy a Nigerian, even here, when you say Afro, go up on YouTube and just say Afro pop or Afro whatever, they take you straight to Nigeria, bro. But it's like, oh, there's Kenya, there's who, because they have a distinct sound and a tone.
Yeah.
Now we are saying, of course, it's very. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We are simply trying to bring in it must be obvious. It must be an obvious sound, like an obvious, as soon as it happens with Ghana, this is from this region.
Yeah.
And so with hip hop especially, I mean, look, even South Africa has got its own, it's starting to have its own type of feel now. It's just what it is. I don't think we are far off. I just think maybe we are all over the place. If you asked and said, who in hip hop right now in Namibia do you think, and I'm saying proper, pure hip hop, is somewhat having a distinction in the sound? Who?
Man, I cannot give you a name, to be honest.
Yeah, Lynch.
Nah, bro. Come on, man. Like, the only person that comes to mind with having their own distinct sound that I could think of was Meta. Meta. There was a point where Meta switched up his style. If I'm being honest, it's not a style that I appreciated. But it's not a style that I like, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like, oh, this is something new, this is something different.
Shout out to Meta, man.
Yeah, he's doing big things now. And you can appreciate when an artist decides that they're going to take this different avenue. And whenever you hear that sound, you're like, oh, this is this artist. And we can do the same thing with the genre as a whole, where you need a sound that is prevalent in Namibia.
Yeah.
So before a rapper says anything,
nothing.
You know that, oh, this is Namibian hip hop. And I think that's the distinction that is needed, especially when it comes to international. The problem with Namibia, especially when it comes to music, especially when it comes to hip hop, is that we have a tendency of copying what other people are doing.
Yeah.
And the moment we're always copying from the States, and that has a tendency of putting now a ceiling on Namibian hip hop. I really love how, what's the guy's name? AKA, sure, man. So I'm just realizing we talk about a lot of rappers that passed away on this place. AKA, there was a point where I think I heard him in an interview where he said he's not going to be sampling American music anymore. He's going to be sampling local music.
And he did.
And he did do that. Like, I really appreciate that song. The one with Burna Boy?
Yeah.
I forgot the name of that song.
Yeah.
I want to say the song is called Robbery, but it's not Robbery. All Eyes on Me. That's
Robbery.
Yeah, because the guy says Robbery in the song. But anyway, All Eyes on Me. So in that song, because I used to like Brenda Fassie.
Yeah.
And that was one of my favorite songs, and it got sampled. And really appreciate
so you relive that moment. And I think, who else did I hear that sampled local stuff here? Kani?
Yeah, Kani sampling.
With Hera,
yeah.
And that's where, but there was more, I think, that he resampled. Now, why I think that works as well is the fact that, remember, traditional music it's got a unique element to its country of origin.
Yeah.
Look, man, if you listen to the Messiah, or is it the Messiahs? If you listen to the chants, you automatically go, yeah, I think these are the people from where. Now, the Kwela had that type of vibe as well. So imagine if that feel, that Reed doing. Who else did I hear that Reed did a local something, man? I think there was a guy, but he's from Oshakati. I just forgot, and he was one of my favorite. I just forgot his dude's name. What he would do, he would take Menangi's music, and she didn't even really have instrumental. She would just a cappella, and he would. All his music would almost start with that type of sample. It had this really cool traditional stuff with it. I would only assume that maybe somebody like Young T would produce stuff like that. But it was so good, you know. That's one of those guys, and I think I forgot his name. But then there's an issue of the ceiling. Look, if we continue this way, what are we most likely to end up as? What is the highest a Namibian artist can go?
Yeah, I don't think Namibian artists would go that far on I think any rapper that decides to emulate a foreign style is not gonna go too far for two reasons. So it's and there's a chance, small chance, I'm talking minute, dude, like this small, for you to make it out. It means that you have to do a foreign style, and to a point where like outside Namibia, people are going to your style of music where they don't think that you are from Namibia. Like there's only one rapper who did that. I think actually there are two now that I think about it. So it's I Am Rescued, who people don't know he's from Namibia. But they listen to his music consistently, and people think that he's actually from the States or wherever. The other guy, I think, is it 1/6 or something like that?
Yeah, shout out to 1/6, man.
Right.
I think he's working up in Australia. That 1/6, and he does like deep hip hop too.
Right. To a point where even when you listen to him as Namibian, you don't think he's Namibian because the accent and everything is very, very foreign. And you have an international market that listens to your music because you are, one, that good, and two, they don't think that you are from here. Now,
and the other is also you are there.
Yeah. So now the majority, the rest of the 99.9% of you guys who want to be doing, a foreign style or a foreign sound. Yeah. The thing is, locally, people may not gravitate to your music. Like, and the majority, maybe your friends will listen to you and stuff like that. But the larger Namibian population may not. They'll just be like, what is this thing that we cannot relate to? There's a reason why. There's a reason why when One Blood came out with that song shot through the roof, right? Because it was very, very Namibian. Right. So they want a Namibian sounding thing. Like when Kanye came out with that song. Right, that song shot up as well because people could recognize that this is a Namibian sample. It's this song that my parents used to listen to, and now it's been modernized.
So I'm having two of the worlds together.
Exactly, and so now you already penetrated the local market. Now internationally, when people come from wherever they're coming from, they don't come to Namibia to listen to stuff that they can get back home. It's the same thing with why Namibia is killing it in tourism. It's because they don't come to to go to the Hilton. It's like, nah, bro, like we got Hiltons back home. Like take us there into the bush. Let's go see the elephants and stuff like that. Because we don't have those things back home. Right? So that's the same thing when people are looking for music in Namibia. Like, yes, you do want something that is close to your style, but you don't want an exact copy of your style, or let me say a bad copy of your style.
It's always gonna be bad, right?
It's
always gonna be an imitation.
Of course. Look, in a space where it's not even your mother tongue, dog, and you're trying to be a J. Cole, bro, you can't be, because I just gave him a J. Cole show yesterday.
Exactly.
And you're not even giving me a watered down version. It's
and we have so many examples of how this thing has worked out. Look at Romy. When Nasty C was like, "Hey yo guys, we're looking for I'm looking for rappers to open up for me," and then Romy sent. I'm sure there were people who came with bars, rapping like crazy, right? And they didn't make it. The person who went to go rap in their mother tongue, the guy was even saying, "I don't know what you were saying, but I loved it." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, shout out to that.
So that is the type of thing that we need. I think, like, really, let's focus on like what makes us Namibian. What are our people going to like, and let's try to actually satisfy the local people first before we try to blow out.
And again, so this we are making in view, and this is obviously just to close it off here, but this is in view of people that especially say their head bent on going commercial. If you want to go big and commercial, you might want to consider these prospects. If you're just doing music because you are a hip hop enthusiast and you're just a Wu-Tang fan and whoever listens, that's different, because that's for passion. But look, it's okay, I guess, to want to gravitate to where the sound is going. But there's a reason why sometimes people get tired of the consistent. If it sounds the same all the time, at some point, everybody wants like some sort of variety. That's why today, if like Mark goes, I'm dropping a song, those of us who just really enjoy pure whatever, we are gravitating immediately like, what does this guy have to say? Because he always got like really cool local references, but he puts it in a genre and a sound that I appreciate. But we also know that for him, it's an issue of passion. You see. And so to try and copy and yet be strongly inspired to go commercial, you might shoot yourself in the foot. Because why pay 3,000 for a fake Jordan if I can just go back home and buy it for 300?
Exactly. So what do you think it's going to take for Namibia to have its own hip hop sound?
I dare say it might even exist already. Maybe that person is not just out there yet. That sound might actually exist already.
Yeah.
It's just that he does not have the mainstream appeal. Yes, thank you.
Oh, true.
Yeah, he might not have it. And two, it's again, our thing is very unstructured. Look, even in SA, there's a structure. When music is played, there's a body that controls access, input and output. Yeah. We don't have. Look, we can have this conversation over and over and over and over, unless there is a structure that says this is the input space, and then there is a work, this is the process, and this is the output. We won't be able to tell. Because anybody can just wake up tomorrow and decide, I'm going to do this. Who regulates you? Everybody can have a passion to open a bar, but there's a law that says you must have a license. Do you know what the license does? It discourages those that are not serious.
I remember with Kwaito, right? Like Namibia we get a lot of our inspiration from SA.
Yeah.
So Kwaito was also one of those that came from SA.
Yeah.
And when it came, even the dog was trying to rap what's his name with the mask? What's his name?
Zege.
Zege. Yes, he was trying to rap like that. And Mendoza, those guys, right? And then over time, Kwaito in Namibia got its own identity, right? And then it became a bit stale, where it's it was the same type of music. And then I remember, I was in high school, and then the Fresh Family came out.
Yeah.
But then before the Fresh Family came out, there was a guy by the name of AB. His name is AB Pro. He's the brother to the son.
Yeah.
That guy single-handedly almost revolutionized hip hop. Kwaito.
Yeah.
With that style of Kwaito that he was making, like the Fresh Family song Superstar. That style was crazy, and I think one way we can do that is if producers have the courage to put out their style, not conform to rappers saying, "Make me a beat that sounds like this," or like this.
Yes. Yeah. That's a really relevant point also. It's okay to be inspired by a YouTube beat. No problem. But you see, I remember this conversation with JC and Berthold. These guys would actually go to studio and have the melody.
Yeah.
So I'm not coming to you with another idea. You would come and you rap the flow you want.
Yeah.
Yo, I wanted to go na na and the producer listens and he produces. You guys are there's a holistic approach to production.
Yeah.
What we do now, I just come with a beat from YouTube. Hey, XAO, put the USB in the software. And the guy goes, alright, cool.
Yeah, but I do understand how that came about, because even with the way that hip hop is done, even the way that I grew up rapping was, you take a beat and then you put your concept onto that beat. But I think it's a much easier way for Namibia to develop its sound, and this is the same way that hip hop even developed its sound.
Kwaito rather, how Kwaito?
No, hip hop United
States. Okay.
Which is through sampling. So I think if we start off with it just being a normal thing that hip hop producers do, where it's I'm going to sample this local songs, and I'm going to turn this, I'm going to get a rapper to rap onto it somehow. I think that is the easier way for us to develop our own sound, because that's how hip hop started. People started sampling, and then they started producing their own melodies and whatnot. And there was a group that I was part of. I think you're part of it as well. Producers Lot. Where it was just a bunch of producers. They're given something to sample. They sample and they make a song out of it.
Yeah, we used to do it actually live, even at vinyls, man.
Yeah.
So the guys would sit down. You bring your laptop or whatever it is you work on. Song number 1, you sample around it. But you see why that works also, because most of the songs you are sampling have cultural codes in it.
Exactly.
You're forced to create a beat. The beat will have to sound around it. You couldn't go off at all.
Exactly. And with that, you are able to create a more authentic sound that is relevant to that country, and to those people.
Yeah.
And with that, I think we can honestly paint the way forward for having a Namibian sound. Because there's some song that you just know when you listen to it, you know that this is Namibian. No one has to say anything. Like you'll be surprised if it's not.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing that we need for our hip hop, where it's the song plays, you already know that it's hip hop. And I think those ways that you guys mentioned, and also the way of sampling, I think is the way forward.
Yeah, and again, so if you're watching us, man, we're not coming here from a place of like, I think we have been hip hop enthusiasts our whole life, and especially for Namibian hip hop, because first of all, we love the music. We appreciate people that dare to dream and put out their work. But we've also been blessed to be in spaces where we can influence that to the extent that we can. You know what I mean? People that have just kind of thought, oh, I'd like for DVA to review my stuff, or Franklin work for a radio station, can you please play my stuff? What I'm saying to you is this: if you want to have a national appeal, first of all, and then international appeal, there's got to be quality to your work, bro. Quality is important. Look, if you've got 10 albums and all of them suck, they are horrible in sound production, maybe stop. I'm serious. Stop. Get a consultant to help you. That's one. Number two, it's okay to learn. It's okay to not know. Maybe you are a great writer, a horrible executor. Maybe you are a great executor, horrible writer. You can always swap. You see what I'm saying? But ultimately, the other thing is, well, if the community exists truly, then the community must be able to regulate itself.
Yeah.
Because we don't want only after the things happen, we're like, yeah, no, man, it's so true. We are taken advantage of. It's like these things must happen before the advantage taking happens. You see. So how do we establish a Namibian sound, guys? The one way that works very well is that we need to know what's going on. It's the only way. Yeah, sometimes I'm forced to put a guy on a show and I'm just like, yeah, no, you could have done better. But we are now here. Thousands of people are listening. I can't be out here lying. But the one thing that I've started to do now is this. As much as I am an honest critic to self and to others, it is important, because if no one can tell you that sometimes the music is good, like the lyrics, the content is good, whoever recorded, it's just not happening. So you're saying we need an input, a process, and somebody to check the output. Simple as that. So if you'd like to reach out to us, you're more than welcome to do so. Obviously, details are here.
Yeah, I also proud to say that this is something that I feel like a lot of rappers have, which is every song that you make should not be a hit. It's not going to be a hit. It's not going to be the song like, yo, I made this song, it's done, it's finished, I put everything into it. Learn to experiment. Like, even if the song does not end up going out to people, just go to your producer and be like, hey, listen, here's a local song from 10 years ago, can you sample it, let me record on it. Go through the entire process and then see how it is, see where you can improve with the next one. The one that your first draft doesn't have to be your final song. So work on that, and then decide and really come to a place where you're honing and creating this sound. And once you reach that point, you're like, okay, this is done, let me put it out, let me see how people react to it. And if they don't react well, go back to the drawing board and be like, where did I go wrong? Rather than, oh, I'm trash, I'm not going to be doing this thing anymore. It's going to take a whole lot of experimentation. And just to take like a personal experience that I had, so my mom is in a choir. And I happened to have a CD of hers. I played a song, and this was one of my favorite choir songs of hers. I don't even know the name. Then I sent it to like a producer friend of mine. Like, hey, dude, can you sample this? Bruh, the song that came out of there, like the beat that came from there, man, fire. Very unfortunate I never got to record that song, but that beat was fire. And what I probably should have done, I actually did a disservice. I should have taken that beat and given it to somebody else who could have actually used it better. And I think that's something that other rappers should do as well. If you feel like, I'm not going to kill this beat, but this beat is fire and it has the potential of revolutionizing a genre even, give it to somebody else who can actually push it forward, because you could be holding an entire nation back when you keep it to yourself. Oh, you don't put it out. Yeah. But yeah, that's all we got from us.
Yeah.
Till next time.
Subscribe.